Good evening, good evening. We back. We missed y'all, man. It's your boy, Monk ATL. It's my brother over here, Rashid.
What's happening?
This is the New Year's edition of Beer in the Conversation. We got some special guests. Obviously, you all know our vaunted leader typically shows up when he fucking feels like it. So he'll come in, but in the meantime, we don't want to keep y'all waiting. We know y'all missed us somewhat, maybe a little bit. So much to tackle, so much to talk about. We'll try to keep it on schedule for you guys and make it a great show for you all. So, want to introduce one of our special guests. We got Miss Jordan here. Jordan, tell us a little bit about yourself real quick.
My name's Jordan. I'm 27. I'm from North Carolina. And Laris is my brother.
Okay. Miss 27, Laris is my brother from North Carolina. Okay. And what do you do?
I'm a bartender.
Okay. Nice. And you couldn't bring our boy no tequila today? You
didn't know.
You had no shots in your trunk or nothing? No little dollar shots back there?
I did not know.
Stay ready so we ain't got to get ready. Well, it's a pleasure to have you. Welcome.
You too.
My brother, it's been a minute, man. What's going on? What's new with you?
Not much. Did a little bit of traveling. Went down to Key West for a few days. That was nice. Then went up to Boston. And amazingly, it was colder in Atlanta than it was in Boston.
Yeah, we had it was schizophrenic down here for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, caught a little bit of COVID while I was out.
Caught a little bit? How you time out? How you catch a little bit? A little bit, not a little bit.
It was nothing. You know, I had it early last year, and I mean, it wasn't that bad when I had it early last year. I mean, but it was much mild. It was like a cold. It wasn't even like the flu. It wasn't even like a mild flu. It was like a basic cold.
So when you went to Boston is when you started falling ill a little bit?
Yeah, it was Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. You know, I had my throat. I was like clearing my throat a lot, maybe for a day or so before that. And yeah, I was down on Christmas Day, and we were up there to see the old lady's family, and so I was trying to get out to do that, but I just couldn't do it. So I was out that day, and then the next day, I was like really pushing to get out, and I did not know I had COVID. I just thought, again, it just wasn't that serious, and so I did end up meeting them. My understanding is that they're all still alive, so that's good. Went till we got back, but I actually took the test. I was like, and it was like bright red. Like, you take the test, you get like the two lines.
Right.
That second line was like,
yours was like, you got it, nigga.
Marker.
That what is it? You got this shit. Nah, man. But you know what's crazy though? Like I just browsed a report earlier, and there's this triple letter variant that's running rampant in the Northeast. So that's why I was asking, did you get it while you were? You were in Boston?
She had actually been sick early. I thought I had caught whatever call from her. And to be honest, like, I was sick on Christmas Day. Then I was fine. Then I got sick again. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what the story was. But, yeah,
Well, we're glad to have you here, man. We're glad to have you here.
What about yourself?
I've been laying low. Just grinding out. You know, New Year's for me is one of those things where I don't really go out very often on New Year's. My mom is a scientist, so she's always worked overnight. And I just like, she's always like sacrificing and stuff like that, making all the gunshot victims. She does she makes sure everybody's straight. You know what I mean? So this year she actually had New Year's off. So I could have gone out. I got invited to a few places. Little something. But I ended up doing what I always do. I kind of just stayed inside and cuddled up with the dogs. I knew my mom was safe because she's working at the hospital. That's always a very vulnerable spot during New Year's.
Yeah.
So I just had that peace of mind. Yeah, bruh.
Yeah.
They'll drop people off and then circle back and then see if the ops is gonna show up. Like,
are they still laying out there?
Right, you know what I'm saying? So that definitely was a blessing.
A firecracker or something. I'll make sure they come get it.
I mean, I could tell you guys dozens of stories after New Year's of just and honestly, it's not even really anything to amaze you because a lot of it is just young people.
Yeah.
A lot of it is the kids as young as 10, from like 10 to 20, just getting shot up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I heard the shooting was so bad this past weekend that people were literally just walking down the street shooting, and APS was right there, and they were pretty much non-responsive.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It was. People said something about gunshots. We went up to she was working on New Year's Eve. She got home at like 11:55. We like ran up onto the rooftop at the building. and it was foggy, so you couldn't see shit. Like, you heard fireworks everywhere, you couldn't see shit. Yeah. Then somebody set off a motherfucking firecracker that was like 20 feet over our head. It exploded. It was one of them big ass fires. Motherfucker was like 50 feet in diameter, and it just like right in front of our face. It scared the crap out of us. That was all we needed. We were done. But I heard something about gunshots and stuff too, but we ain't see all that.
Miss Joy,
hear all that.
What about yourself? What you get into
for New Year's?
For New Year's,
church, and then I had drinks after. Yeah.
Now hold on. Now you gonna have to. Hey y'all, we need further elucidation on this one. You went to church. You got the you hit the watchtower. You hit the watchtower, right? I gotta get it right. You hit the watchtower, and then after that it was watch out.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah. But I go to church every New Year, so that's
what's up. So. Are you like an Easter, New Year's, maybe like Mother's Day church goer?
No, I go. Well, I don't go every Sunday, but I'll make sure that I'm.
This is a safe space.
Yeah, no, I don't go every Sunday, but I listen to it more than like I'm there physically.
Was there like a transition for you prior to COVID? Like were you going more routinely, more regularly, frequently, and then after? Okay,
it was closed.
Okay, it was closed.
Yeah,
it was like even pre-COVID, like pre-COVID.
Yeah, we were closed.
Oh y'all anticipated. Y'all knew what's up. I got one more question for you because you mentioned that you were from North Carolina, right?
Yes.
So, have to ask you about an unfortunate event that happened to one of your sisters out there in North Carolina. Have you heard any updates? Are you familiar with anything that's going on with the Shanquella Robinson? I don't want to say killing. I mean, essentially, that's
from Charlotte. I don't know like personal details, but I have a friend that was a friend of hers. I'm from Asheville, so that's probably like 2 hours from Charlotte.
Okay.
And she was very invested in like trying to help the family figure out what happened. Basically, I feel like it was out of jealousy. Like, it still has not been proven if that was a man or not. That was supposed to be a transsexual. Yeah.
I didn't say it. So about a month ago, I was mentioning that because it came out initially, right? And then that was kind of dispelled a little bit. But there's been so little information that we can actually say is tangible.
And I can't say nobody's in jail.
Yeah, nobody's in jail.
Nobody's in jail.
What?
Mexico was supposed to pick it up, but I guess they dropped it. I don't know. It's crazy.
How do you feel with regards to a situation like this? How do you feel is impacting I almost want to say black travel culture? Because and I'm saying that in context because there were other black people that died within a 4-week span prior to
in Mexico, right?
Yeah, in Mexico.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, it was in the same tourist town. There was carbon monoxide poison. It was just a lot of stuff.
Right.
And it seemed like because they make most of their money, or not, if not all of their money, off of tourism,
right,
that they would have a vested interest in making sure that it doesn't get further than what it got.
I actually just came from Mexico, and I had a blast. But
we'll talk about that after.
I don't know. I feel like you should still live your life. I mean, it's unfortunate that happened to her, but that was like something personal. I don't feel like it had nothing to do with Mexico, but Mexico definitely should have helped out more. And then they said that they didn't take her to the hospital. They tried to do CPR in the house. Like, yeah, that was weird.
I think Mexico. I get what you're saying. It looks like Mexico
tried
has
to cover it up.
Everything to do with it because I think that just based on what I've observed. They took her there, number one, knowing that black lives have very little value, especially internationally. And that's that's an opinion, but I think that can kind of be supported in some ways with some facts. And then on top of that, they went somewhere where they knew that there would be some sort of melee in terms of figuring out who's going to take the case. The FBI could have easily. I mean, they could have easily picked it up. Easily.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely deeper than what we know.
Did you see segue? Did you see the video of the young lady most recently who they went on a trip, she paid for the Airbnb, her boyfriend and some friends came the last day, and then the girls that she was with tried to fight her. She had to run to the bathroom. You didn't hear about that?
No, where was that?
Miami. It wasn't international, but it was Miami.
No, I didn't see it.
And I think I'm adding that on the end to it just to say that yes, live your best life, but not without discernment and not without caution.
I agree.
Know what I mean? Because everybody,
yeah, I agree with that.
Everybody ain't your friend. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. But they said they grew up together.
Everybody
That's why I'm like, well, yeah, that is true. That's true. I've had to learn that too myself. So
here's the thing about friends that you grow up with. I feel as though friends that you grow up with are great people for the most part, right? You can really forge some lifelong friendships.
Right.
But they are typically friendships that are catalyzed by proximity.
Right.
So if you're in, neighborhood, okay, we grew up together in the same neighborhood. We tight like brothers, or we went to school together. That's when you get a little bit older and you come more into yourself. You know what I mean? You can actually kind of pick your friends based on who you are and what you're about. And I think sometimes we kind of get roped into just this false sense of loyalty because we've known someone for so long. And that doesn't mean that person has ever had your best interest at heart just because you've known them. They may have been watching you. Waiting for an opportunity to strike. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. But this is, I mean, in this day and age where people seek validation and attention so frequently through all these different mediums, all these different apps and everything, it's no wonder that they would set her up to do that, and then use her own money, and then use her own money to stage it and get back, and then bring the bags back. So I'm just disappointed, but I hope as a people, we can look at situations like this and say, everybody ain't your friend.
Right. No, I definitely agree. I've learned that myself.
And travel shaming should be a thing of the past at this point. We should not be shaming people for their desire or their lack of desire to want to travel, because I'm not finna travel to death.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I ain't gonna do it just to say just to say, oh, I went to 4 places this year, because I know some folks that they be working 2 and 3 part-time jobs to finance these trips.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if that's worth it.
That was never worth it. But she didn't know that. Because even when they showed the videos, when she was telling them, get up, let's go to the pool and stuff, and all of them were in one room.
Oh, yeah. At that point,
I would have known. I would have said, y'all are being weird.
Yeah, that was the eeriest part. She knew it, but once again, I think that we need just a overall better custom of loving accountability.
Right.
Which means, hey, I see you going through something. This might not be the best move, but we've created this situation where people are very, very averse to hearing things that could possibly save their lives.
Right.
Hey, look who decided to. Call him David Copperfield. David Blaine.
I was enjoying the conversation, man. I ain't even want to it was kind of like a double dutch where you're trying to wait and see if you can jump in. Happy New Year to everybody, man. It's good to see my brothers, my bros. All this beer just showed up from nowhere. We got Jordan in here.
We brought it.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't no Santa Claus up in this motherfucker.
Right.
Ain't no chimneys in the ghetto, so I won't be hanging no socks.
We ain't giving credit to
Shouts
Santa
out,
for that.
Outcast.
There you go. Now, check it out. This was my new day, new thing we're doing. This was my mood in 2022.
That boy singing that shit, so it's gonna be good.
All I had to go after him was all right, and our lefts were swinging the bats well, so I wanted my left-handed hitters to hit.
Did you consider Brett for Miller with the bases loaded in the 7th?
No, don't ask me all these stupid-ass questions. No. In the... God, all these stupid-ass questions every night. Find the I hit Brett for Miller. Miller started the game. He's playing against left-handed pitchers. Brett is not playing against left-handed pitchers. Find the I bat for Miller. You think I'm a goddamn fool? I'm tired of all these ass questions every night. And stay out and ask all these dumb ass questions. Stupid. Excuse me. Sucker. Ask me that stupid ass shit every night. Stupid ass. I'm not taking no shit off. You guys are not taking no shit off the players. I'm sick and tired. I'm fed up with everything. No shit from you guys. No shit from you players. And they can do any thing they want to do. I'm sick and tired of all this bullshit. Now, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
All right, cool. That was my mood in 2022. New year, whatever. Let's get into it real quick and fast. And I want to say something very, very quickly. I got some news today. Big news. Huge news. I'm excited about it. Very much so. It's not official yet. I got the recommendation was put in. I'm not quite knighted by the party yet, but they are looking to endorse me for candidacy in 2 years.
Where is the bill?
Right. I told you the change was coming.
Candidacy for what?
Well, if I told you the district or for what it was, then the opponent might have time to dig up dirt on me if this video surfaces. But I can tell you that it's state. So if you're in the state, but you never know. Things could even change beyond that because I'm going to the inauguration. I was invited. I'll be at the inauguration for all the candidates on Monday. Yeah. I'm going to be there to not just be an onlooker, but to meet with lobbyists and other candidates. So I'm excited about that. And I'm really hoping that our movement, what we're doing, and it's picking up speed. Look at this. Where I get this? You know where I get this?
Hey, man, I ain't even gonna lie, man. Like, that shit warmed my heart because on my way down here, I was like, fuck, I ain't got no leather on. You know what I'm saying?
Do
like,
you want to wear mine?
Nah,
It's
bro,
yours,
I
but
made
it's mine.
I made
Okay.
it for you.
But my hopes is that I will find, and we will find, and we will build in the next 2 years 100,000 black men, and we will find and take women who are along with it. You know, kind of like that shit you seen outside the Barclays Center with Kyrie Irving and all that, man. You know, and we're gonna have an army. I want to see an army.
Move the king! 12 tribes! Worldwide! 12 tribes! Worldwide! Some of us used to be in the club. King! Move the king! 12 tribes! Worldwide!
So here's the thing. This is my sister Jordan. We are deputizing her. She's getting to the point where I know that she's gonna become a very effective podcaster, and she's a strong individual, or whatever. Can I ask you a few questions before we get started? So this is an American Revolution, and things are about to change. Now, as you are a natural born woman, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I believe so, but I'm just saying. Okay. All right. Now. Can I talk to you or explain to you or express to you or tell you how you should feel about menstrual cramps or carrying babies?
No.
Why not?
You was not born a woman.
Okay. Can you talk to me about how I should or should not feel about being a man?
No.
Okay. Rashid, now, we know that you're the smartest guy on the panel, and that's clear. You know what I mean? He's clearly too smart for this show. We're just, I don't know. I don't even know why he entertains us.
Bruh, that shit was so thick, bruh.
Yeah,
God,
I mean, yeah. But what I'm saying is that your degree is in management? I thought you were IT.
That is my profession, yes.
Okay. Can I talk to you about something like IT and where you went to school at? Did I have that same experience? I mean, what would you say?
I don't know. The answer's not as clean as you want. I mean, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be my experience versus your experience would probably be the more important thing there. Versus
okay, cool.
Education.
No. That's dope. That's all I need to know. All right. Do you think that you can talk to me about my experience and my matriculation through Morehouse? Do you know more about it than I do?
Probably not. I did not fully matriculate.
Okay.
I can speak to part of it, but
All right.
not all of it.
Can I ask you a question, Monk? New year, new
Absolutely.
day. You're my brother, you're not.
Absolutely, man. What's up?
Am I you?
No, nigga.
Are you me?
No.
Okay. Do you... I'm just... Can I talk to you about how you feel about something that you've gone through?
You got to rephrase the question.
Okay. What's a better question?
Can you tell me how I feel about anything? Is the question.
Okay, better
Is the
question. Can I tell you how you feel about anything that you've been through that I haven't?
Nope. My intrinsic experiences are mine. You know what I mean?
Okay. Do you think that you can tell me how I should feel about the things that I've been through?
Nah.
Okay, let's go ahead and get the show started. All right. So, at any rate, I don't know, man. At least we know we got 4 crazy people out of the 8 billion people on the planet here. Because we got to be we got to be the psychos. Because everybody can tell you how to feel about whatever you done lived through and whatever gender or race and everything you are.
You did that like a preacher.
Did I?
You did. You
No,
know like
God.
you did that, bro. You did that like a preacher.
All right. So, okay. I when I walked in, y'all were talking about the Shinquilla issue. Did we talk about the my man that got hit down there in the football game?
We haven't spoken about anything. I was really just getting Jordan acclimated to our format, introducing her to our viewership, and just asking her thoughts on some things that's going on in her native parts of town, you know?
Okay, cool.
And then plus we was waiting on somebody to just finally...
Yeah, well, we got to find that joker. All right. So big stuff came up. There was this rift between Shannon Sharp and
Skip Bayless.
huge. You can look at something and tell when it's not scripted.
This is part 2, because part 1 was when Skip disrespected Shannon over Brady, and he was like, you know, you weren't half the athlete he was. He was like, and then when Shannon's voice was like, Skip, I'm in the Hall of Fame, man. I said, bro, he about to whoop your ass, bro.
Shannon Sharp looked very upset.
Shannon Sharp should be upset. He should be upset. But sometimes, I mean, this is what is to be expected when you put yourself in a position where you're fighting like an entire war with your hand kind of like with your hand tied behind your back. And I'm not necessarily saying that he's fighting a war, but he's in enemy territory. Like he's an analyst for Fox or Fox Sports News. Fox. It's a Fox affiliate. It's Fox. So it's very interesting how we have the tale of 2 foxes. You have the Fox who is, you know, their programming is very liberal. And then you have the Fox whose news cycle and outlet is very, very whatever it is. Not liberal.
Far right wing. I mean, and I'm not liberal. And I do from time to time indulge in Fox, but I mean, I can't do it enough because it's demagogical in nature. I'm more of an objective person. It's all about what makes sense. Rashid, I am curious. Here's the thing, and I don't know how much you know about it. The brother went in. Did he actually go into cardiac arrest?
So here's the thing. Here's the update. Right, went into cardiac arrest. So he basically died on the field. Cardiac arrest is when your heart stops. Mm-hmm. That's when your heart stops. So he died twice on the field. So reports as of 2 hours ago, or as of an hour ago, was that he is awake, and the first thing that he asked was, "Did his team win?"
Aww.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, definitely, it's definitely a hallmark moment. But I want to play devil's advocate.
Okay, let's do it.
I ain't never seen nobody with cardiac arrest fall out just static and just fall out. You know what I mean? Like, I've never really seen that. But I have been seeing video footage of several athletes who have taken the medicine. Yeah, the medicine, and they're all falling out the same way. And apparently, okay, so let me just stay on track. We have no proof that this young man is actually alive. I don't want to be that person, but I want you all to see how you can be manipulated and told anything regardless of what you see And the reason why I led with he died on the field is because that's essentially what happened. So when they're telling you that they were able to revive him off the, like, there's no way of anyone knowing that without being in the direct radius of what they're doing. Not saying that they're lying, not saying that they aren't lying, but I feel like that there is a vested interest in keeping the information about the side effects of this medicine under wraps, primarily by way of the funeral directors who are pulling out these fibrous blood clots that have never been seen before. And next thing you know, like you're wondering why aren't you hearing this in the mainstream media? It's because they don't want you to know about it. So they're kind of they're kind of backpedaling on a lot of things that were mandated over the past 2.5-3 years. But that did not feel like a cardiac arrest. He didn't clench his heart. He didn't know pain, no nothing. He just got up and fell out. That seems a little peculiar to me. But I'm not a scientist, not a doctor. I just child of God. That's all. What you got?
So we're talking about COVID vaccines. That's what we're talking about. The medicine.
Well, we are, but we aren't.
Boy.
We are, but we aren't.
Make sure that
We are, but we aren't because it's speculative, right? It's very speculative because we don't know. But what we do know is that the sports leagues mandated that all the athletes get this stuff done.
Yeah.
So if that's a common denominator, and if we look at the video of these previous athletes who got the same medicine and they're falling out the same way, I mean, at some point, like, am I just supposed to just ignore all of the similarities?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't, you know. I mean, obviously my train of thought is very predictable here, which is I have not heard of people falling out like this before, and I've seen reports of like soccer players, all that sort of stuff, but it was nothing that I was paying attention to before. I mean, there's just been so many situations where like things happen that look abnormal to me, but then I do a little bit more research and realize that they're way more common than I thought they were. And again, I'm not saying that. I'm not making any judgment. You could be completely correct here. And I know there was somebody that got roasted on Twitter for even suggesting, he didn't even say it outright. He was just like, you know, hey, a lot of athletes falling out these days. And just saying that, you know, he was getting savaged. He was some like, you know, mainstream person or whatever. I think it's worth looking into. I mean, again, you know, to your point, I think that the COVID stuff was dumb. You know, all the things that we knew about viruses before, we completely forgot. We forgot about, but certain people forgot, or maybe they didn't forget. Maybe they just decided to leverage it for power. I don't know, but everything we knew about natural immunity, the thing that has gotten us through every pandemic in human history,
and the person who was pushing natural immunity the most 25-30 years ago completely walked away from his entire medical history.
It wasn't even 25-35 years ago. He was talking about natural immunity at the beginning of the pandemic. You talking about Fauci? He was talking about the beginning of the pandemic, and these people just lost their damn minds.
So to your point,
are you saying there's a political agenda associated with this?
I don't know if it's a political agenda. I think that there's reason to suspect that, given how political the whole situation got. But I do, again, for me, it's like the financial crisis. It's like, you know, the teacher fraud things that go on across the country. I mean, it's about like all these situations where you have these so-called experts that become hive-minded about a particular thing, and they get hive-minded on like the worst, stupidest way of interpreting something.
Very true.
And so this is just one more instance of that, in my opinion. And is it politically driven? It could be. I'm not saying that it's not. But I'm saying this mass stupidity thing is not a new thing, and it is not always politically driven.
Well, it seems oxymoronic, right, for somebody to say that doctors practice medicine, and at the same time they will be hive-minded. While I agree with you 100% that you can be hive-minded,
okay,
I agree with that. But it's like they are the pundits. So if you practice something, it's to say that you have not finitely figured it out yet.
Practice is not mastery. That's a simple way of putting it.
What do you think, Jordan?
I don't know. I'm soaking it in.
Should once he got to the hospital. Okay, so he wakes up. Let's think about Remember the Titans. Gary Bertier, he's in the hospital.
Hey, that's damn near the greatest football movie of my generation. Remember the Titans, boy.
Yes,
You gonna remember the Titans?
Gary Bertier,
I like
captain of the team. Thank you.
No, not you, Jordan. I'm complimenting Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Because she know Remember the Titans at 27. She knows it at 27, bro. I gotta give her props for that, bro. Like, she was 2 years old when
I watched it a
Playlist
couple
came
of
out.
times. Yeah.
A couple times? Oh, shit. Go ahead. What you got?
And the only reason I say that is because, okay, there's some sort of congruency and parallelism. He's in the hospital, and he's not even worried about the fact that he's paralyzed. Come on, we got to win this game. Okay, so if the player is like invested in winning, and then the team is invested in the player that's harmed, and there's trauma. Once he gets to the hospital, I mean, I'm just throwing all the stuff in a salad bowl. He gets to the hospital, right? Okay. Fast forward. At that point, what can they do for him? Is it better for them to experience the trauma and not play, or to use that as a motivator and say, man, we finna go ahead and bury these dudes?
Yeah, I don't understand why it's so much. I mean, I do understand the difference, but like, people get injured all the time, right, on the field. Now, they may not just fall unconscious due to cardiac arrest or anything like that, but like,
nobody die.
But like a player,
football-wise,
becomes incapacitated, and is taken off the field. And sometimes you just don't know. You don't know what the fuck's going on with them. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So again, I didn't think that, back to the Shannon Skip thing, which I don't really watch a whole lot of stuff, but this is something that kind of hit my radar kind of sideways. And like, I looked at Skip's tweets, and it just sounded, he was just kind of like, what are we gonna do? What are the teams gonna do now that he's on the court, on the field like this, or whatever? Like, are we gonna continue the game? How are they gonna continue the game? That shit does not seem offensive to me, but I'm always the one that loses that shit.
Okay,
I'm always the odd man out.
Everybody, we know we still love you, bro. It's okay. It's okay. You always learn us pretty good around here. So I play football. You play sports, organized sports.
Organized-ish, yeah.
Okay.
I did. I did.
Okay, you did. So we all, on some level, have competed and have taken some sort of competitive trauma to our bodies, right? Yeah, that was the area's part sheet.
I apologize for that.
Look, this is gonna be the last time we're gonna have a new name. It's gonna be several new. We're gonna keep Jordan and Rashid and myself, but there's gonna be one difference. And look, and Viv is gonna look a lot different next season. Okay. Nah, man, it's all love. But seriously though, like, that's the issue with Skip. Skip ain't never took no hit. He ain't ever done anything, and I know this is always an age-old.
Do we know that for a fact, though? He's not played in the NFL, but he's not taking a hit. We can say that.
We do know because Skip Bayless has been in the cultural eye for, we'll say, at least 15 years. Over that time, you get little bits and pieces of people's background. You can also read and find out their backgrounds. He's a fitness nut, but he's an aerobic fitness nut, which is solitary sports like running and doing shit like that, and tennis. Contact sports is totally different.
So we know he didn't play like Little League or in high school or anything like that. We know that for a fact.
Yeah, cause somebody that has that sort of anthology of work out there would say, I didn't play. I'm sick, bruh. If you play sports on any level and you reporting on sports and you're an analyst, you're gonna refer to any level of sport that you played as a point of reference that you can relate to. He's never done it.
That is a gigantic assumption that
But it's reasonable though. But it's a reasonable assumption that.
All right, let's move forward.
You've been working in computers for 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay, you talked about stuff in your, you know what I'm saying, throughout your career working with computers. Off cuff, you know what I'm saying, like off cuff, or somebody asking you specifically, whether or not, you know what I'm saying, because that's your part of your life. If you've never done it, there's no reason for you to ever bring it up, which is why he doesn't, because he ain't never done it. And that's the reason My point is that when you disrespect a Hall of Fame tight end, arguably the greatest tight end.
The disrespect was saying that he wasn't the athlete that Brady was. That was a disrespect.
It started with that, but it actually probably started
he ain't the football player that Brady was, but they didn't play different positions, all that kind of shit.
And but that was Shannon's thing, and Shannon was just like, "Why are you personally trying to assault me? And I have a gold jacket." At some point, what I've accomplished, you got to know how to back down because you ain't done nothing on the professional field for you to even debate with me about.
So I don't agree with that line of thinking though. I don't think that like just because he has a gold jacket means that he just is beyond any type of assessment compared to another player, and that all gold jackets are even created equal.
Okay, fair enough because they're all getting subjectively.
There are better tight ends.
But let's go to baseball. Let's go to baseball. Can any of us tell anybody what it's like to hit a home run if you've never hit a home run?
No, but I can say that Barry Bonds, we're talking about the Hall of Fame. I can say that Babe Ruth was a better baseball player than Fred McGriff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can say that. I ain't never played baseball.
Well, at the time, he was certainly more valuable. Huh? He was certainly more valuable.
Or better than Lou Gehrig or whatever. I mean, however you want to do it.
Did you go to Lou Gehrig?
Huh?
Did you go to Lou Gehrig?
I'm just saying.
You might want to throw Ted Williams in.
Well, it's because the point was that, like, so I compared, like, Babe Ruth, one of the first Hall of Famers, against, the most recent one.
I get it. But we're comparing Hall of Fame versus Hall of Fame versus in juxtaposition as Hall of Fame versus I just talk about this shit.
Hold on. You said to me what you said to me was.
I'm actually glad I'm here.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I want to say this so we can get into the other two things, and we can come back again, of course. Because we're gonna find some around here. We're gonna find some extra room in the end, And shouts out to Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. We will find extra room in the end.
Sweet baby
but what I'm saying, there are both enough heavily credentialized enough to make it worth watching. At the end of the day, and I don't know if that means anything, but
this is like some contrived ass formula.
You gotta get a bill just for how you pay
the black dude and the white dude who argue. That's the PTI or whatever. Like that's like it seems like it's some formulatic thing between two people that I actually don't think are all that interesting personally. But maybe I just haven't heard enough, of them. But
right.
I mean, they're not dumb.
Well, sodium and chloride by themselves mean nothing, but when you put the two of them together.
Okay, ammonia and bleach. Face ass. Okay, what's the
I paid attention in chemistry class. But I wanted to talk about, this is a big thing before we get into the last topic. Okay, Amari Stoudemire gets arrested. I have them girls at the house. Amari Stoudemire gets arrested.
You got girls at the house? What?
Taylor and Jalea. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Julia?
Yeah, Jalea. And we had an episode where Taylor comes to me and she says something, and it was, I'm not going to do that to her, but I was like, this is what I will say. If she had been a 17-year-old boy, he would be in ICU still. And so what I want to say is that, so I talked to somebody else, and I won't say who, and they were talking to me, and they said, here comes the juxtaposition. She's like, well, we don't have a way to hurt y'all other than with words. We're not bigger, we're not stronger or faster, whatever. But I said, see, sticks and stones may break my bones, words will never hurt me. It's the inverse. Actually, Solomon said life and death's in the power of the tongue. Here's my point in saying all that. My point in saying that is to say, words hurt. A blow you can, while you may not like it, you can forgive. But you can tear somebody down with words. Surely you have an opinion. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think words are worse than actual physical abuse. Verbal abuse is,
It's like, you punched me, my arm hurt. You know what I mean? So Amari Stoudemire got locked up for disciplining his daughter's Creflo Dollar at the same time did the same thing. And I am not here to defend these actions that Amari Stoudemire took or Creflo Dollar. I'm not here to do that. But
These
man,
two men must have whooped their kid's ass or something.
But when you start sharing space with people, man, that stuff, it starts to get hot under the collar. You know? What do y'all think, man? Go ahead, do your thing.
So I don't. So I get. So I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, the whole words thing. I don't.
Well, words coupled with the fact that you're taking care of somebody too, not just like this isn't a random person who bumps into you off the streets and says you ain't shit. This is somebody.
Kids say shitty things.
This,
Kids have said shitty things for as long as there have been kids and shitty things to say.
Yeah,
that is the thing.
Yeah,
that is like how they operate. And that I'm sure that doesn't make it any easier to hear.
On top of, she probably didn't get something that it was out of anger.
I think, and I personally don't have children. I have 2 godchildren that I love dearly most of the time. And I got a bunch of nieces and nephews and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying, by proxy. And what I can say is, and then also just working with children, for a large part of my life, fuck them kids. But I mean that. I mean that in a loving way. And what I mean when I say fuck them kids in a joking way, I mean literally you just gotta just be like, fuck them kids. Because I know when I was that age, I knew everything and didn't know shit. And sometimes my parents just had to be like, fuck that nigga. I hope he don't die, but he'll be all right. And I think knowing that someone's frontal lobe isn't completely developed and they're going to be more prone to impulsive, erratic, emotional outbursts, you have to have a plus or minus ratio, especially if they come from you. Or if you choose to love them in that capacity, you have to have a plus or minus ratio of like 50. Like for real, like it's almost like the data is completely skewed. Like you can't have it. You know what I mean? It's like she may come in the next day. You might look. It might be breakfast on the stove. It might be something she heard you mention 6 months ago that she's like, I want to do, because that's just how the emotions go. I think for us as men in our community leading that, we're charged with the extra physiology, right? We're charged with that to be able to take those extra blows. It's just hurtful when it comes, when the words, or when the blow is by way of a word. But we still gotta
from
take
somebody that you really love.
I know.
You know what I mean?
But that's why it hurt, because if the nigga on the street say it, well, let me not say that. But
I get what.
But let's keep it gender specific. If a young lady on the street does it, you can walk away because you're not vested. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot vested in your seed.
Do you really think that Larry's will walk away from some chick on the street talking some shit to him? I don't think so.
Hey, y'all, for real. I was really trying to, because it's 2023, so I'm like, God damn it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
man, let's wipe the slate
La
clean.
tabla rasa. Can we get a blank sheet? Can we start over with the shit? You holding shit over this nigga hair from 2 weeks ago.
My bad.
I mean,
New Year.
The Messiah came for redemption, man. You know what I mean? All right. What do you think, Jordan? I mean, how do you feel away? Should Amari Stoudemire have hit his daughter?
Oh, so there was physical stuff here.
Yeah, he hit.
No, it was physical retaliating for the worst. Sorry, go ahead, Jordan. My bad.
No, you're fine. Being honest, growing up, we didn't get whoopings, so I don't too much.
You ain't got, it's all girls.
No, I have 2 little brothers. Well, I have other brothers, but my household.
Who was in the house that wasn't getting their ass whooped that was a boy?
Well, they got.
Okay.
Well, no. Okay,
I'm done. Next.
Wait, let me
You ain't gonna
rephrase
tell me
that.
there's a boy growing up that didn't get his ass whooped.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't get whooped. They got poppings.
Yeah, because men have to be checked by men. Men have to really be checked by men.
Do you know?
I'm old enough to remember they would whoop your ass at school.
I was there. Believe it or not, at parents,
They
had a paddle at
you
parents'
get like the
children's-
second and third rounds when you got home, but
My
the first round
parents-
came at school.
Real talk. I'm an 80s baby. Don't judge. You know what I'm saying? My parents, one day I showed out in school. I'm an only child, so, I'm prone to it every 2 months or so. So I showed out. On the way home, we was walking. This is in the West End. We walking past a construction site. My daddy picks up a board, the perfect length to swing perfectly. This nigga, I love you, Dad. This nigga in graffiti wrote Big Bronze, which is my first name, y'all, on the board. Y'all know I got my ass whooped with a board tied up, cause I wasn't gonna take the ass whooping lying down. You gonna earn this shit. I sprayed my mama wrist, man. Like, yo,
Man,
Oh
my
my
mom.
God.
I ain't playing with y'all. I don't want to get hit, nigga.
My
What
mom.
makes you think I'm gonna sit up here and take this shit?
My mom beat me with a Jamaican club once. You know, and so it is very, very. I mean, but you know, again, we're 7 generations out. So our parents were 5.5, 6 generations out of slavery. We were in slavery for 14 generations. You know, especially when you start looking at the time that we were being reared. You know what I mean? Now you might say, "Oh, he's 7.5." There, somebody is will critique the shit out of me about this. Say, "Well, mathematically, you know."
But this ain't even that. Like, everybody used to whoop kids. When I talked about getting whooped in school,
everybody.
like a white man in a public school whooped me when I was in the 7th grade. When I was in the 8th grade, I was at a Christian school.
Oh yeah, I went to
And
Catholic school, too.
all the teachers
Yeah.
had paddles that had nicknames on them.
Oh, no.
They had like they
that's what my
like
daddy
had
got
drawings
from.
and shit on them. One of them had a paddle that had holes cut in it. So when she smacked your ass, it would like suction, just like suck up to your ass, just stick on your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it was.
Parents in
That's what that shit
elementary,
was like.
They beat
I went
kids
to
at
Catholic
parents in
school.
elementary.
Yeah, this ain't no
I
slavery
Catholic
shit.
school.
I grew
This
up
is
right
some-
there in Decatur.
Yeah,
and
this
it
is some
happened.
spirit of rise for the child shit.
I went to St. Anthony's in the West End, and I went to Our Lady of Lourdes directly across from the King Center. Those are 2 schools I went to as a youngster. And I can corroborate everything that brother Rashid over here is saying. It's almost like they lick they chops when a little nigga come up this to the office like, oh, you acting
Whatever
up,
they
nigga.
dealt with at home
You
that
acting
week,
up.
they was like, oh man.
They like shit. They stretching out their wrists, because if you don't stretch out the wrist,
Calisthenics.
it'll give you elbow tendonitis if you don't do the wrist. You got to do the wrist, or else it's gonna fuck all of this up.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
I done
they
told plenty of rotator cuff in my day. You gonna earn the right to whoop me.
And so the real question, and the reason I brought it up, and we'll get into the next thing real quick,
This is funny.
is because you can't tell me the blowback I got when I put it up on social media. You cannot tell me that a father doesn't love his daughter. I just do not. I don't believe it. I don't believe. I just can't.
Yeah, it's just like the Adrian Peterson shit, right?
Yeah, it's the
You
same
remember that
thing.
shit?
Yeah.
You know, part of that's like a cultural thing about
It's-
the very specific stuff, but yeah.
Yeah.
Me personally, when I have children, I'm thinking to myself, I've actually said this to women that I've dated, and the blowback was enormous. I was like, I don't really want to hit my kid. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking from a psychological standpoint. How are you you're teaching someone that they can resolve their issues with violence on a basic level. Now you can that spare the rod, spoil the child. It's not in the Bible. I know people like to quote it from being it, but it's not in the Bible. So I understand that there's a level of discipline. I just don't know. I'm trying to figure out how long is it going to take us to separate the beatings and the abuse that we took while we were in bondage, and when can we start separating that from like just a regular trajectory of the human condition? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to beat me to show me that the world is hard. You know what I'm saying? You can discipline me, but all of this, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. That's like, you wonder why kids grow up not knowing how to cope with issues of no and possession. And when they get in a relationship, they like, I'm going to resort to violence. Cause
Well, there's an article written, and I'll make sure I send it out, that actually illustrates your exact point that says that children who grew up getting whippings have a higher propensity to accept domestic violence because they have been able to reconcile with the idea, the notion that someone that loves you can hit you.
Read All About Love by the late great Bell Hooks. We actually lost her in 2022, but
I'm
read
so
all
sad about that.
read
I
all
read her
about
book,
love.
We Real Cool.
Yeah,
She's
I
a
read.
known feminist, yeah.
She's really like, she is the epitome of what feminism actually should be. Is
By
what it should be.
the actual
Yeah,
definition.
by the definition is what it should be. So read Sisters of the Yam, read All About Love. But All About Love it's more of a, it's a good read, but it's a reference book because it shows you at an early age how you're conditioned to receive and accept love. And if it does come by way of what's that, corporal punishment, right? Then you will internalize that. So if someone gets frustrated with you and instead of using their words to express, they just haul off and knock the shit out of you, you probably gonna be like, okay, because you remember, you can associate that from when you back talk to your mom and your dad and they didn't, without warning,
struck you. So
you knocked out.
So the acceptance of societal norms, here's where things, and then we're gonna go into the last thing, everybody get a moment to say something. The acceptance of societal norms, to your point with regard to that, is the idea and the understanding that anybody who is in a group, like the three of us understand this, right? The problem is if people who understand it do it towards you, and then when you do it towards them, they go to the police. All right, now let's get into.
I like how you did that.
Okay, Gangsta Boo died.
Man,
You know what Gangsta Boo is?
No.
Oh,
Who's that?
Gangsta Boo,
generational gap.
Gangsta Boo,
666
Gangsta
Mafia.
Boo
You ever heard of 666 Mafia?
was the first lady of Hypnotized Minds. She was with 666 Mafia. They had a lot of big songs in the mid late '90s. Juicy J and all them. They ended up winning the Oscar for His Hard Eye.
3-6 Mafia.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. 3-6 Mafia.
She was 43.
But when you born in the '80s, you say 666.
Oh.
666 Mafia, you know, my bad, but you know him as 3-6
Oh,
Mafia.
yeah,
I got, you know, we here. But you know what? I was talking to my boy yesterday about this, and I was amazed. So when I found out that she passed, the first thing I did was, me being the ATLian that I am, I went straight to Stank On Ya, and I played I'll Call Before I Come, which features Gangsta Boo off the Stank On Ya album. And I was just listening. I was thinking about, she was 40, when she died at 43, which means that when she did that song with Outkast, she was like 20 years old, which means when Sipping on Some Scissor came out, she was like 16. The fact that she was that young, rapping that maturely and just really like holding her own with that crew, like, I mean, she's definitely
Lil Wayne.
in a lot of ways is going to be missed. Even though she wasn't active, and I hate that she had to pass from an overdose on fentanyl. Y'all leave that shit alone. Leave the fentanyl alone, nigga. Just leave it alone. Matter of fact, take a break from the weed. Yeah, Big Scar. Matter of fact, another Memphis rapper. Matter of fact, he was signed to Gucci's label, and he passed away last week. It was earlier in the week.
Yeah, well, opiates are the number one killer of musicians. I mean, we lost Prince, we lost Michael Jackson, we lost some big Jimi Hendrix.
Why you going, Jan? You trying to rip my heart out?
I'm just saying. I mean, there's a clear pattern here.
It was alleged it was barbiturates with Hendrix.
All right. I'd always heard it was him, but I don't claim to be an expert on it.
You know, and Prince was riding the bicycle the day before. He didn't look like nobody that needed no opioids, but he needed his masters though.
You got anything you want to say?
No, I'm listening.
All right, cool.
Well, Ken Block died too, y'all. I know y'all like, who the fuck is Ken Block?
So here's the thing: New Year. This is a new show, and I mean it's the same show, but it's a new show, different attitude, right? Because there was a lot of complaining that won't be done anymore, because we have solutions, and we're gonna get the fleet that we need to get the job done, and I'm gonna make sure I get it done, and things are going to change for you. Because if I get inside of that gold dome, I'm gonna fight for you every day. And if people are tired of what I've had to say, they better be ready to really get sick and tired. Because I'm not gonna let up. And I'm gonna fight every day. And I'm gonna switch people over to our side. I'm gonna convert career politicians. You don't have to worry about it. With regard to Gangsta Boo, trauma is real in our community. Prince, Michael Jackson. It's trauma. We got to deal with the trauma, but to deal with the trauma, we got to have hard conversations. East Point, smoke some dank.
Oh, in the house. Everybody.